you have a lot of different options instead of just going here or going there, or I really like that about. I think Green Ronin did a bang up job doing Out of the Abyss. I think it's probably the best campaign setting of them. But I'm a huge fan of Lost Mine of Fandor. I think that's a beautiful adventure too. I like that one too. So, all right. So you guys are going to be traveling. You guys got probably about another half days of travel to Sloob.
Do we want to take a short rest, guys, before we leave and spend some hit dice, or do you want to just push on and hope that we really don't encounter anything?
I say we're half a day. I think since it's if what we're being told is we're only a half a day away, if Al and a few others can hold on, we can get a safe rest in Sloob if we can get there instead of be out here in the open. We've had two attacks in 2 days.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get out of here.
I'm gonna throw a little bit of a heal on Al then, just to kind of help him.
Okay. Go ahead and if you got the combat tracker open, you can go ahead and take care of that. Now remember, even if it still is half a day, the Underdark is a place that is just filled with all kinds of creatures of the dark. So you guys will still need to. We're going to have to do a random encounter roll, which I feel confident you guys will probably roll low enough and not have to worry about it. So, but you guys are on your way to Sloob. So we'll say that you guys are resting for an hour for a short rest. Give me a survival check. Actually, yeah, give me a survival check. We're going to see that as you guys are going throughout the narrow caverns, you're trying to find another pretty safe defensive spot to where you can take a short rest. All right, yeah, and you guys are traveling at a good pace. So you find a location. All right, you find a location that you can rest. Now, you guys are still going to need to do a random encounter roll. Hopefully, you guys will roll low enough. So, one person want to go ahead and do a D20 random encounter roll. And you guys can, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, you guys are nice roll of a 1. That's the time you want to roll 1. Is on an encounter, so nice roll, Echo.
Perfect.
Yeah. I was gonna say, even if you rolled like a crit, I would have still allowed you to use the natural 1 perk to get rid of that random encounter. So, all right, not too bad.
What happened with Stool?
Stool's fine. Stool, Shushar administered an ancient concoction that Kuoto is used to. It's like a very slimy substance. It's like almost like a yellowish orange type of slimy. It looks like a Jello shot, and it was actually a Kuoto healing potion, and administered it to Stool. So Stool's fine. Stool's back up. Stool's still around hopping about. Boing, 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 boing. He's so stupid. So you guys have a little friend Stool, but that Stool wants to go to the Neverlight Grove. He wants to go home, so he knows that, and that's where Seraph wanted to go. But Seraph probably wanted to go get more Mycons. So.
I wanted to make bookends.
Yeah, pretty much. So I know you guys are taking a short rest. Some of you guys probably want to use some hit dice heals. I see Al, you're beat up pretty bad. You got 13. You got 3 hit dice heals. So all you do, Al, is you go to the main tab, and there is a hit dice at the very, very bottom of the character sheet. Now, whenever you hit that, it deducts your wounds. So all you do is you just click that die, and it'll basically erase the damage, and then it'll take one of those away. So you see you have 2 left, and then once you run out, those will totally vanish. You won't be able to use them anymore, which is another great feature of Fantasy Grounds. It keeps track of all of that stuff. Makes my life as a DM very nice. Oh, ow, another one. You got one more, you can blast that last one, but you're only 3 hit points down.
Yeah, okay, we'll hold it.
Yeah. Morvine's
Hold on
he's at 3, so Eldith is at 5. She's going to use 1. So we'll see what's her con. No, it's her level, so it would be her. Is it? No, Heal and Die is a con, so her con is 1. So let's see. All right, she's gonna go ahead and use 1 more. Yeah, she's took 2 of them to take all of her wounds off. Everybody else is fine. All right. So you guys had your rest. Everybody go ahead and take a, seeing that it's a new day, go ahead and take a day's worth of rations off of your character sheet. You guys are eating and hungry, expending energy down here in the Underdark. And as you can see, with this this beautiful scene that's from the book, all kinds of caverns, even though the spiders aren't glaring down at you. There's all kinds of spider webs and stalagmites, stalactites, all kinds of water dripping puddles on the ground, fungus growing everywhere, these patches of like this energy, different colors, light blues and pinks and greens and oranges and purples, and this Underdark is a very evil, very very dangerous place, but it's also a very beautiful place too.
Alright, and since we're taking a short rest, I get back both my second wind and my action surge.
Absolutely. I am going to
meditate during that short rest as well.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and tell the combat tracker that you guys had a short rest, so you guys don't have to worry about resetting anything. I just reset it for you with a short rest, so you guys should have back your features.
The characters are taking a short rest. Can we take our
All right.
5?
So you guys are traveling back through the Underdark. You guys are headed to Sloop. Nice random encounter check as well. We'll say that you guys are going to make it. Traveling pretty much the entire day. Tell me what you guys see as you're traveling through the Underdark. What do you guys see? I want to hear what you guys are actually seeing. There we go. It's updated. $961.
Well,
Thank you guys so much.
The light of his torch.
Holy cow! $961. Yeah, you're pretty much blind as a bat down here in the Underdark.
Well, El's mesmerized by the strange plants that he's never seen before, and the glowing, pulsating.
Do you really?
Plants he's not sure if he should touch or not, but his proclivity for herbology would like him to maybe take a couple back as souvenirs.
What, these fungus mushrooms are you talking about?
Yeah, you mentioned before. There was one that looked like a cactus, and I do know there's some hidden properties in cacti.
I'll tell you what. I will allow you to. Yeah, sure. I will allow you to do that, but first I want you to give me a nature check.
Okay. Whoa. Not unskilled. Unskilled. Well, dude. Bro, I have.
Well, in that
Let's
case,
see.
Edith is so glad that Al finally stopped talking about these damn mushrooms.
All right. So yeah, Al, as you start to, you bend down and start picking some shrooms that you see, and I mean, are you like kind of picking them up, sniffing them, and trying to figure out what they are, right? Because you are pretty much
Yeah.
skilled in this. So yeah, with your great nature check, you pick up the wrong mushroom. with your awesome nature skill check. So you pick up these nilhog's noses, and it's basically the nilhog's nose it's a small little mushroom, right? And you're when you're smelling it, you kind of take a little taste of it and whatnot. You're gonna have basically, it's not going to give you any kind of massive bonuses, but you're going to get advantage on perception checks, and that'll be for about 4 hours. So any kind of perception check, you'll have advantage. All right. Now, the bad thing is that was the good thing. Now the bad thing is you're going to have disadvantage on saving throws against smell affected checks, like perception checks, because it's sort of like when you're perfect instance. This happened to me the other night. I took some Coke. I didn't have any ice. I was making ice, so I just took some hot Coke and I dumped it into a glass. Okay, and when I went to go drink the Coke, it was still fizzling up like massively, and when I went in there to go get a drink, all of a sudden all that carbonation and it just got into my nostrils and my throat, and it made me go and I started coughing. Basically, that's just what happened to you when you picked up those nilhog's noses. So you're going to get advantage on perception checks, but if the perception check has anything to do with smelling, then you're going to get disadvantage on it.
Okay. Cool.
And you have you pull, you have like 4 or 6 of it. We'll say roll me a 1d4. All right, 3. So you have 3 of those. So you'll be able to, you can take advantage of this, 3 times. You have 3 of them. And in fact, let me put on your character sheet. I'll go ahead and I'll put those mushrooms on your character sheet, and I'll put them on there for you. So no big deal. All right, so Edith, what do you see as you're traveling throughout the Underdark towards Sloobludop? Sloob for short.
Well, she has her sword and shield at the ready, just in case, because you never know.
You never know, especially in the Underdark.
And I'm sure there's a lot of tall people ahead of her, so she's mostly just looking at their backs and the walls around her, making sure that the people in front of her, you can see where the hell they're going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotcha. I added that to Al's sheet too. Morvine, what do you see in the Underdark?
I'm also kind of interested in all the lichen and any kind of bioluminescent stuff that's around on the walls. I want to. Is there any kind of glowing moss or anything?
There's lots of growing fungus and mushrooms around. Sure.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long they hold their glow after I pick them. Is kind of what I'm kind of experimenting to kind of see.
Not too long. I mean, it starts fading almost. I don't want to say almost instantly, but they do last for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, if nothing, if it starts to fade pretty quick, after a couple of minutes or something, then it's probably nothing that I would pocket. and I ask Edith, you know, for as we've been traveling, have you, you know, can you tell kind of if we're, because I know that you know dwarves pretty good at determining like slope, you know, if they're heading up or heading down, you know, if we can, she can maybe be able to determine you know what direction, you know, we're going. Are we heading up, or are we heading deeper? I mean, I know ultimately we're going out. We have a destination right now. I'm just kind of curious about our position in the Underdark.
You know that you're traveling in a northern direction. But as for, you know, determining how far down in the Underdark, or
no, just kind of like, I mean, as like dwarves, as they move, they can usually tell if they're descending or if they're ascending, just because of the grade
yeah.
of the paths and stuff as they move. I didn't know if she knew that.
Well, she can give me a. I would say, this is one thing that I wish D&D 5e had, was dungeoneering. Dungeoneering, and I also wish that there was a streetwise. Those two, I wish those would be great. Dungeoneering, I would say probably perception. I mean you can
Perception,
give me a, yeah, you can give me a perception, and you can actually give that to me with advantage because it has to. Well, it doesn't have to do with stonework.
Shield though that gives me advantage on perception check.
Yeah, so click that advantage button down there.
Okay, so Edith looks around, licks her finger, holds it around.
Looking for the wind. That's not happening. I love it.
As she holds up a finger with the to look for the wind, but the echo just kind of like poofs a little wind her way with my attunement, just kind of like just to see what she does.
Oh, nice. Nice. You think you're probably traveling deeper into the Underdark.
Okay. And when Edith, when you pulled your finger out of your mouth, did it make a popping noise?
She licked it.
Oh, so you stuck your tongue out and did it. Okay. Fine.
But you really couldn't see because, you know, the beard's so nice and thick and full.
You guys are crazy.
Oh, you like it. She's like, north. We're going north and further into the Underdark. Not even closer.
Thank you very much.
And Dave, question: that shield, is that +2 to AC like a regular shield, or?
Yep, sure is.
Okay.
Just a regular +2. Yep, sure is.
Wanted to make sure.
Kara, what are you seeing in the Underdark? Last but not least.
Well, first of all, during the short rest period, she's obviously made sure clean her weapons and made sure everything was okay with her things. And then she is looking at the where they're walking, seeing if there's some which fungi is making noise if she steps on it, which is more safe to step on. Just testing the area out, seeing if she can figure the surrounding area with her stealth, because she's kind of good at it. So I figured she would be interested in staying good at it.
All right. You start to come into an area, and you know when you're traveling deeper, it gets a little bit more noticeable, Edith, without having to, and actually kind of everyone can kind of tell that you're traveling a little bit deeper into the Underdark. And now you can all start to smell I don't want to say, you kind of smell the moisture, you know what I mean? You can smell water's probably nearby, and you guys are traveling in a more open area. So it's not like you're traveling in a single file line. Now, Brother Eco, you've got your light source out, right?
Yes.
All right, and that is what a torch? Is it a torch or?
It's a torch.
Okay.
But I have it. With my elemental attunement, I have it lit, but I have it just like dim, so I can see pretty much in front of me, so I don't fall. I'm not like blasting it blazing where I can see like 100 feet away. I just have it like very dim lit, so I don't fall on my face.
Gotcha. All right. You guys travel into a more open area, and as you're traveling to the north, Shushar, he kind of stops a little bit, and he starts to say, "Uh-oh," and he starts to sniff, and he says, "Oh, Kuatoran, I don't know who it is." And, he's speaking this in Underdark to Kara. So, and Shushar is usually pretty quiet on the trip. He usually doesn't say a whole lot. I mean, because he is pretty much catering to Kara's every whim. Her, cleaning, trying to, clean her clothing, and as she's walking, and shining weapons, and taking care of her equipment, and refolding things, and putting, taking care of Kara. So when Shushar speaks up, it's pretty rare. And Shushar says that there are probably Kuatoa ahead. He actually says that he can smell the Kuatoa.
How far up ahead?
Not far. They probably looking. Depends on who it is. They could be looking for sacrifices. It depends. If it for Ploop, we be okay. But it for Blop, uh-oh. we could be in another big fight.
Kara tells the other to be on their guard. And says that there are more Kuatoas out there. We don't know if they're friendly or not.
Yeah, Shushar can definitely, he can sense that there are Kuatoa around. And, and Shushar also goes into saying that, there's quite a few patrols. And, there are patrols for Bloop, which is, the pretty much the chieftain or the priest of Sloobludop. And then there's, the new faction that is kind of splintered off and, basically broke up the entire tribe. And that's by Blop. That's the daughter of Ploop. And, like you said, Ploop would, if it's friendlies of Ploop, we're okay. But if it's of Blop, that's when he says, "Uh-oh."
Will you be able to tell the difference when you see them?
Oh yes. Shushar, tell quickly.
Well, good.
He's speaking. He's got like air coming out of his jowls and stuff like that. That's how I envision a Kuatoa speaking, something like that. Something like a Gungan or something from Star Wars. Not Jar Jar Binks, but like the chieftain or something. I would say the chieftain. That's how I would imagine a Kuatoa talking. Yeah, it's just me though.
So I guess we just have to keep going and see who they are. And she says this in the common with the others.
Okay.
She is walking, like, maybe not last, but kind of far back, so if the other stops, of course she's gonna stop too, but She doesn't really see a reason. They're there for a party.
Alright. So the party continues their northerly trek. And as you start to trek towards the scent of like a moisture scent starts to become more apparent. It's more of like a maybe like a swamp or a marsh where you can kind of smell like mud. You can smell just filth and the peat and all this other boggy kind of these smells.
Hippies.
Druids, telling you, tree huggers. Alright, so you guys get to an opening. And in this opening, I mean, it opens wide. And this opening is very, I want to say very moist. And your feet are kind of sloshing around in it. Meaning, basically, it's almost pretty much difficult terrain. And you guys are I don't know if you guys are pouring in. You were in a very narrow corridor. It kind of gotten a little bit narrower and narrower and narrower, and then you had to go single file, and then it just emerged into this massive corridor. I mean, just as you look up, you can't even see stalagmites or stalactites hanging down. You can't. It's just pure darkness up ahead. Even for everyone that has dark vision, the dark vision goes, it surpasses the range of your dark vision. And it,
somebody carry stool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I think. Let's see. Who will pick up stool? Bapito will pick up stool. So there's lots of growth here too. A lot of like really tall like grasses and patches of sort of like lilies. But it's not water. It's just like a really thick mud. It's like your foot sinks down a couple inches as you start to walk in, and everybody starts to walk into this huge area. And then across the area, you notice that there is some humanoid figures that start to emerge out of an almost identical narrow, exit. And all you hear is Shloob take a deep breath, and you hear him say, "Oh boy." So Shloob, he tells you that Shushar tells you that Sloob is up ahead about another hour, and he kind of scampers out in the middle of this swamp, and in this like swampy bog peat area, and he puts his hands up, and as you guys are as these figures come into your vision, because you could just tell that they were dark bipedal humanoids that were starting to file in. You can tell that these are more Kuo-toa. And they're adorned. They're basically adorned for combat. These Kuo-toas, they're using like a natural type of seashell type armor. They are wielding spears. You can see a couple of them are carrying nets. And Shushar, as he's walking across, you can start to see that these Kuo-toas are now coming into your range, because like I said, this is a very large cavern, and you can only see 60 foot. So within now these creatures are coming into your range, and they're Kuo-toa. And Shushar, he has his hands up, and you can hear Shushar speaking basically undercommon to these other Kuo-toa. and these, and you can see Shushar. He's kind of turning back to you and kind of pointing to you and shaking his head yes and whatnot. So, Kara, I want you to give me a perception check, because you're the only one that can actually, and this is a hearing perception check too. So.